Hello and welcome to the Porch and the Shooter series. We got a really good broadcast going to go on today. We're going to be testing the velocity of some pistol rounds, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Let me show you a little bit of what we got going on. Number one, we're going to be shooting this 9mm Ruger. Now, most of you watch the videos, you've already seen us shoot this gun, but this video is not about the gun. It's about the ammunition and the velocities that this is going to produce with the ammunition I'm carrying in it. I don't know what that's going to be. That's the reason we're doing this. So that's number one. This is a reload, if we can get it to where you can see it. And again, we don't know what the velocities are. They should be around 1,100 feet per second, but we don't know that. So we're going to do some testing and see if that's right. It's 115 grain, by the way. And also we have this guy right here, which is a factory load. And we'll show you a little. I'm trying to get it up there in the camera. See if we can get it to focus. Okay. 115 grain federal factory load. So we'll be shooting that, check the velocity on it. Next, we're going to be shooting this Taurus 45 ACP, and we're going to be shooting 185 grain ammunition, hand-loaded stuff out of it. I've loaded myself, and again, I don't know what those velocities are going to be, but that's what we're going to find out today. We're going to be shooting out of our new chronograph, and I'll show that to you guys here in a few minutes, but that's that. Let me show you the ammunition. These are 185 grain. See if we can get them to focus. 185 grain bullets or projectiles, and we don't know what they're running. We're guessing probably around 850 feet per second, but we'll see. And this, of course, is full metal jacket hardball ammunition, hand loaded. We expect it, 185 grain, by the way. I expect those are running somewhere around 750, but we'll see. And for sure, a treat here is our Kimber Target 2 10mm, and you guys have seen it if you've watched the videos. We did a tune-up on it. We've got this thing shooting really well, but we want to know what the velocities are on our ammunition here. Now, let me say this right quick, guys. If you'll stay with me for just a little while, we're going to talk about what this velocity means and how important it is at the end of the video. But also, I've got a little surprise for you, but I'll share with you at the end of the video what that is. Let me show you the ammunition we're going to be shooting. This is a 10mm, just a wad cutter. And I'm thinking it's coming out at over 1,000 feet per second, but again, I don't know. We just went with the ballistic math that was produced by the manual, and I believe it's a Spear manual, but anyway, that should be running around 1,000 feet per second, but that's just target ammo. This is a factory load, and I'll show you. I'll pin something up there just in a few minutes so you guys can see the box this came out of. It's 200 grain bullet, and I don't know anything about this. It says it's running out at 1170 feet per second. We're going to run it across the chronograph and see if that's true. Now, chronograph, by the way, is a Caldwell G2. It's the newer model. It works right upside down from what the old one did, and I've shot a couple of rounds over the top of it. Seems to work good, but we're still working out the app and understanding how all that works. We'll get it figured out. That's a factory round right there. All right, we're going to get out there. We haven't got the chronograph set up yet, but I'll get out there and set that up, and then we'll come back to the video and we'll start shooting across it and seeing what kind of velocities we can come up with. All right, guys, let me get everything set up and we'll come back to it. Okay, we just shot the 9mm, we shot the factory ammo, and then we shot the hand load ammo. Now we're switching to the 45 ACP. It'll all be hand load, but we'll be shooting the hardball first. Okay, we're switching to the 10mm and we're shooting the wad cutter hand load right now. Okay, now that we've done all the velocity testing through the chronograph and videoed that, let's go ahead and process that information that we got from that. So I'm going to be looking over here at some numbers and stuff as I do this video, so just bear with me. Fact of the matter is, we just started understanding how to chronograph velocities and some things like that, and our videos are not as pristine as I would like them to be by no means. So I'm going to ask you to bear with us as we understand better how to collect this information, make these videos, and do the things that we're trying to do to be a benefit to the gun community. There's some guys out there do a lot better job than I'm doing right now. I understand that, and I'm thankful for them because I watch them, I learn from them. But right now, we're wanting to do it some as well. We're going to take probably a little bit different approach to it, but that's just, that's just what people do. But like I said, if you'll just bear with us, and also something that would help our channel, if you guys wouldn't mind doing it, we need subscribers. We need people to hit the like button. We need comments to come in. They help us a lot because a lot of times you guys put in input that is valuable to us. And we need shares and things like that. The things that'll cause our videos to grow and get on out there. Right now, we're not anywhere near where we'd like to be as far as growth. We're working on it, and we're trying to, as I said, perfect our videos and our information and things like that. So this is the first time for us to do the chronograph type stuff. Now we are getting ready to implement ballistic gel and some of those tests in this thing as well, and it'll give us even more data to make decisions about ammunition and to test ammunition, and also to test different guns and different gun lengths and things like that. A lot of information to be had right there, and we hope to be able to share that with the public as well. As a lot of this information we're going to be using, because I'm actually a reloader. I like reloading, been doing it for about 40 years, but I've never had a chronograph or never used ballistic gel. Maybe one day I'll tell you how we did it to start with. You'll just laugh, and because it's almost humorous. But if you guys will bear with us, we will actually get better. Now, having said that, let's go ahead and get started on this, guys. The first gun that we tried out was this. And again, it's not about the gun. This was a velocity test for ammunition. And this is, of course, the Ruger SR 1911 9mm. And we tried two different rounds on it. And I'm going to be putting my glasses on as we do this so that I can read these numbers. Now, the first test that we did on this 9mm was 115 grain, of course 9mm, 4-inch barrel, and it came out of an average of 1,174 feet per second. That was federal factory load ammunition. So that was a pretty good round. I think I've been carrying that in my 9mm, and I think it did a good job. The 9mm plus piece might be something that I would consider, and I actually am considering. So we may do that a little later on, but right now that's a good round. Now the second round we tried was 115 grain, of course 9mm hand load, jacketed hollow point. We built in our own office, or not office, but our own gun room up on the hill there. And they were coming out a little slower than I wanted them to come out. I was hoping to have about around 1150 average. The average was 11.7. Still enough to open up a hollow point. And now I say that I have to put in a little bit of a disclaimer here. Theoretically, that'll open up the hollow point that we got in there, but we won't know that until we do ballistic gel tests on those rounds, and we'll do those in the future. We've got all the stuff to start doing ballistic gel, but we just haven't got it done yet. That's coming in the future. The second deal that we did, let's look at it. This is the Taurus 1911 45 ACP, and we'll do a review on this gun someday. But anyway, I've had this gun for a while, and we just basically wanted to see what some of our hand loads were doing out of it. So let's go ahead and read the numbers on that. The first ones that we tried out were 185 grain. They were a jacketed hollow point hand load. I expected those to be coming out at about 850, and they came out at 869 average. That was pretty good, a little above what I calculated, and that's better than below. So we're pretty happy with that. The second ones we tried out were 185 grain 45 ACP hardball, just a target load that we hand loaded. And they came out, I was guessing them at about 750, but they came out at 826.3 on average, a little bit higher than I expected. Being a target load, it really doesn't matter a whole lot, but I may load those a little bit lighter next time. I'd like to get down around about 800, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go to the next gun. Of course, the Kimber being one of my favorite guns, 10mm, and we tried two different loads out of it. So let me get the loads and the numbers here, and let's talk about what we accomplished there. Now, we had a first test was a 125 grain 10mm semi-wad cutter. I called them a wad cutter earlier, but they're actually a semi-wad cutter. And they, of course, were hand loads. I guessed them to be going to come out at about 1,000 feet per second. I was pretty close. It came out at 1,027.3 feet per second, so I didn't miss that by much at all. Now, the next one was a 200 grain factory load 10mm hollow point, jacketed hollow point actually, and I was hoping to see about 1,250 out of those. We ended up seeing an 1143 average. Now that's not too bad, but that's more like 40 caliber, which is typical these days from off the shelf ammunition. You buy 10mm and they've dummied them down to about 40 caliber velocities. That's still, if we tried that in gel, I think what we would get would good expansion and decent penetration. Of course, you don't know that until you try it, but just from my experience, that's what I think we would get, which would be fine. But if I'm going to carry a 10mm, I'd like to see 1,250 to 1,350 at least. Don't mind if I see a little higher than that, but at least 1,250 to 1,350 would be what I would hope to see. Now, of course, the size of bullet is going to matter, and this is a 200 grain bullet, but I'd still like to see that 1,250 mark out of there. But anyway, that gives us something to go on. And I know that I told you guys we were going to have a surprise at the end of this. So you guys hang on. We're going to talk a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you what the surprise is. I'm a little bit excited about this. But anyway, let's talk about what these tests do for us. Anytime you're trying to make a decision, the more data you have or information, the better decision you will make. Velocity is just one facet of that information coming into you. Now, the gel tests are going to bring another huge part of the data to the table to make decisions on. That's the reason we're trying to get that set up and get ready to do that. But once we get that done, we can get the data, we'll have information that you will be able to make a decision on what do I want to carry in my gun for self-defense or bear defense or target practice or whatever the case may be. This will give you information that'll help you make that decision. Now, in target practice, it doesn't matter a whole lot. Self-defense, it is life and death sometimes, especially against the two-legged snakes, and then you have the four-legged beasts like bear and wolves and those sorts of things. But you need to be able to make a good decision. One size don't fit all when it comes to ammunition, and all ammunition is not created equal. Okay, a lot of variables you have to consider, and this is what we're going to be talking about in the future. So, having said all that, let's get to the interesting and surprising part that I have for you. Look at this guy right here. That's Kimber 2211, I believe is what they reference to. Now, this is a loaner, and I'm going to be doing a review on it. That's the surprise, the gun, and that we're going to be doing a review on it in a week or so. And we're going to see how this thing will go. And I don't want to give too much away right now, but this gun, just what I can see right now, is like picking out a good wife. It looks like it may have all the right features to be a good wife. And I don't mean that in the wrong way. I mean that in a very respectful way. But this gun has a lot of neat stuff we're going to go over. I'm really excited about it. I'm wanting to go shoot. I won't go shoot it right now, but I'm not going to do it until we get ready to video, because I want you guys to see it firsthand. How's that? All right, guys. We here at the Porch, we love you. We want to bring information that will help and bless you. And so this is the reason we're doing these videos. And if these are of any benefit to you, again, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share if you would. We'd appreciate that. May God bless, and you guys have a good day.